See. Right about now. There we go. There we go. Hey guys, Chris with T3 Medias, and so there was a lot to discuss, and I wanted to get through it really fast, maybe about an hour or so. First off, if you want to send a question, comment, or concern over to me, and you want to talk to me, and you want to share your thoughts, your questions, and everything, you can. There's a couple ways you can do that. Well, you can send them by email. You can send them by phone call. You can call in. Let me just get it out the way right now. How can you contact us? Let's make that happen. So this is the short answer right here. So if you want to reach out to us, you can call us when we're live. The number is 646 688 8918. You can also send questions and comments for our We Got Your Mail segment. And you can either reach out to us on a comment on our YouTube channel, youtube at .com/T3Medias online. And then there's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for us and it's all at T3 Medias. Now, I don't know. I was gonna do a lot of that. Oh, a friend of mine told me to talk about it last, so I'm gonna talk about it last. So let me get to the non-important stuff first, which was no, I'm not gonna do it to him. He wants me to talk about that last. I'm gonna save it for last. Let's talk about the most important thing right now. So, what was going on today is a lot of BS about Megyn Kelly. So Megyn Kelly was on her show and she talked about blackface, and what I saw was a moment where she was being totally honest. And she was being totally honest with herself. She was being totally honest with everybody in the room. She was talking to everybody on the panel as if they were just at a bar or at a restaurant. She just had a moment where she was just being real. And her feelings came out about the subject. She basically said something on the lines of, hey, when I was growing up, when in my neighborhood, when we came to Halloween, we dressed up in blackface and nobody had a big problem with it. Nobody made a big deal about it because it wasn't intended on being disrespectful or racist about it. It was about admiring, like, for example, Diana Ross. If we want to dress up like Diana Ross, they would put on the wig, they put on the dress, they, get a microphone, then paint themselves black. And nobody had a problem with it. She was just being 100% honest about her bubble, how she feels, and how her community thought about it and acted towards it. Then Twitter just blew up. And here's the thing. All right, so do I have a problem with Megyn Kelly saying what she said about the topic that she talked about? The way she did it? No, I don't. Because honestly, she was just being honest. She was reminiscing about her bubble. She was letting us peek into her bubble and what she remembered growing up. Here's the part where I do have a problem with what she said. She forgot what she was. She forgot she was not on Fox anymore. She forgot that she was on MSNBC. And when you're using MSNBC cameras and MSNBC microphones and NBC stage and the producers, and the core audience, and the your coworkers for the most part, and where the money's coming from, you got on your soapbox and you just had a real moment and you forgot where you was. So was I surprised that she said what she said? This is the same woman who said that Santa Claus is white and she has a problem with anybody who is black being Santa Claus. This is the same woman who said Jesus is undeniably white. I mean, even though the people have been, the same ethnicity for the past, 2,000 years. But but he was the only, But however you feel about it, but your beliefs are your beliefs. If that's your beliefs, that's your beliefs. I mean, people knew that she believed these things before she was even hired on NBC. So why was she fired? I feel like it was the reason why Twitter blew up is because Twitter has been waiting, and the people who frequent that show, liberals in general, were waiting for the moment. They boycotted. They wanted her off. The way she came in and replaced two favorites on the network to make way for the great Megyn Kelly. It was a slap to the face of a lot of people. People thought that it was not fair that a highly rated show, I forgot the name of the show, that she replaced was getting replaced for making room for Megyn Kelly, a person that was not very liked in that atmosphere, and ratings went down. Now, ratings were already going down. I mean, it's not like this is like the number one show on NBC or the Today Show, her segment on that. It's not like that. It was nowhere near a popular show, but they still tried to push forward because I think it was starting to stabilize. It was starting to taper off, and maybe it could go nowhere else. But they were wrong. It found a new low. So Megyn Kelly had a little moment. She thought she was in a room full of friends, and then after the show ended, she found out she was in the lion's den. You're like, oh no, you forgot where you was for a second, didn't you? Well, I know what happened. I just had a moment. I mean, for all those years growing up and believing what she believed, but there was no problem with the people that she was working with saying these things and thinking these things, and all of a sudden you forgot where you were for a second, and you just stood up like the Manchurian candidate and was like, I believe that if you don't have a racial intention behind it, then maybe you can wear blackface. Even though we and her about the same age. Growing up, you knew it was a problem even when you were a little kid. I mean, come on, man. TVs existed. People marched on stuff. This has been going on for a long time, even before Megyn Kelly was born. So her pretending to be ignorant about the situation was one thing, but it wasn't about that. She was just being real. She just let us into her little bubble. Hey, I remember a time when we used to do this and we didn't think it was a big deal. That was probably a true statement in her heart. They didn't believe it was a big deal, but she forgot what she was. You surrounded by people who know it's a big deal. And you getting money? No, Megyn. No, that was a problem. That was a problem. And it didn't take long. So Megyn comes out and she does the most, after having the most realest moment I've ever seen, not ever seen, but probably on MSNBC, the most realest moment she ever had about herself and her true self. She then backdoors that the very next day, and I knew it. I knew what was about to happen. She comes on TV and she completely does a 180. 40 plus years of knowing a certain way, of thinking a certain way, of feeling a certain way about a certain subject. It took less than 24 hours for me to go, guess what, people? I was wrong. She just 180'd on it. I was wrong. So, okay, here comes the bullshit. Pretty much. That's what was happening. That's what we were seeing. And I'm going to give you a little bit about what she said on her show. And I want you to pay attention to what she did and her audience, because this is the part that really pissed me off, was her audience. Now let me see if I can pull that up again. Let me see if I can grab there it is. Okay. So right here, this is the actual video of Megyn Kelly apologizing or learning her lesson. So let me see if I can play it. So hopefully it plays. Here we go. And notice that look. No, that's not it. Here we go. All right. Oh, what's going on? It's not working. See, now it doesn't want to play for me. Give me a second, guys. It's the first time I ever tried to do this. See, now here we go. And it's not going to happen. All right, then let's just go back. I apologize. Well, okay, so all right, basically she goes on TV and she says, I learned my lesson. I'm going to paraphrase. She learned her lesson, and she realizes that the way she was feeling the day before was totally opposite of where she feels today. After Everybody in her staff yelled at her. After the powers that be at NBC yelled at her, and she felt that her money was being threatened. I mean, you're gonna walk away the way it goes with like $69 million for 3 years of work, and then you cut that in like half. How long has she been on there? Like a year. So you're gonna walk away with $3 million. And again, guys, if you wanna, at any time, if you wanna chime in, if you wanna call, you got the number. You got the number right here in the description. So if you want to call in to that number, we can talk about this at any time you want to talk about. But this is how I feel about it. And until I can get the video working again to show you what, because I wanted to break down moment by moment what she did, because I want to show you what the audience did and how fake I feel like it was. So she gets out there and now she realizes, though, she had an epiphany. And it was pretty much like, I feel like for me, like a Kardashian, I feel like for me, after my money was threatened by Twitter, and then everybody was having a problem with it, and people started saying things like canceling the show, I feel like for me that it was time for me to share with you how much I understand what I said was wrong, and I'm never gonna do it again. I promise. That was pretty much what she said. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but it was total BS. And honestly, I felt like what she said the day before was her being real. Her money got threatened. And she's like, I don't know if I want to deal with that. And then that was it. She was like, you know what? I think that we need to have a talk about this. Well, people have been talking about this for a long time already, for years, even all through your lifetime. I think it's time for us to have a conversation. And you look at this. Let me go back to something that is working. Here's this picture. Let me go to this thumbnail. Now check out the thumbnail that I got for this situation. Now check this out, guys. And then 24 hours later, she's like, you know what? I feel that doing a lot of soul searching. I feel for me that it is bad. It took you 40 plus years of it. No problem. 24 hours when Twitter's threatening your job. I learned something today. Did you know that black people were being insulted and called, treated and being represented as if they were like not intelligent and less than human with that? Did you know that? Apparently nobody knew that. I learned something. That was the fakest part. The fact that she just totally forgave herself, and that was enough. That was it. I forgive me. I feel that for me, that I learned my lesson. Please don't take my money. Don't take my show. Don't take my money. Because I like making money. I mean, we all like making money. I know a lot about a little and a little about a lot of things. Well, what I do know is that when you do some, that's the face. That is the face that you make. Anybody, man. I don't care who you are. I'll do it. I'll do it too. When I know that I put my foot in my mouth, I said something that pissed you off, but I don't care, and I've already forgiven myself, you can't judge me. Only God can judge me. That's sometimes what some people will say when, 9 times out of 10 they believe it. But then you got that one guy, one person like Kelly, who just saying it because, they already forgiven themselves. They don't care if God forgave them or anything. Like, they don't care. They are like, look, I already got my money. I know what I was trying to say, and I know how I feel, and I know who I am. So, but it's like being in an office space. You know how they always tell you, it's not what you meant. It's how the other person takes it. It's not whether or not you thought it was okay to walk into the office and be like, you know what? I think it's okay to just start busting out these sexual harassing jokes to everybody within earshot. I think things will be fine. It doesn't matter if what I'm about to say will be offensive to every woman, every boy, every girl, every man in this room. It's funny. I find it funny. And everybody in my circle, in my bubble, we thought it was funny when we were talking about it last night. And I thought that I could share that with the office today. An office where this has never been a place to do this stuff. And no one's ever laughed at it. And then you've seen people get in trouble with it before. But yet, here it comes. I'm about to say it. All right, guys, get this. Okay, so you got, and then you just say your joke. And then all of a sudden you see the eyes of everybody going like, And that's their expression. That's the reaction. You see those eyes go, oh man. And then, dude, you see the guy behind you kind of giggling, like, but he really giggling at the joke, and at the same time he's giggling, dude. You about to get fired, man. You are fucking out of here, bro. But he's still kind of giggling at the joke at the same time. It was funny, but you gonna get fired, dude. I'm glad you said it because I ain't gonna say that. And then that same dude that was kind of laughing at the joke, he in the break room like, can you believe that? Oh my god, what an asshole, right? Dude, yeah. And the second you realize that, you're like, you know what? You people don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what comedy is. You've already forgiven yourself. That's the face. That's that look. That's the look right there. Right there. People were reacting to it badly. And let's see it again. People were reacting to it badly. And she was like, okay, look, I've already forgiven me. I feel like looking at those hashtags, hashtag cancel Megan, that was enough. So I feel like I learned something and I forgave myself. So I think that was enough. Mission accomplished. So, all right, can I get back to making my money, my millions of dollars on this network that has never ever tolerated this from anybody? Can we just? I mean, you did. I mean, to be fair to her, MSNBC, you knew who she was before you hired her. Same person that said, hey, Santa Claus can't be, a black guy can't play Santa Claus. Santa Claus is, Santa Claus is white. Okay. What if it's an all black neighborhood? What if it's an all black family? I'm jolly. I can fit the suit. I can say ho ho ho. I can pass out the gifts. There's no white people in this house right now or whatever. Whatever the situation is. Why can't I put on the Santa? But they sold me the Santa Claus outfit. I can put it on and entertain the kids. According to Megan Kelly, nah, guess Santa Claus ain't coming to that night. Nah, no Santa Claus for you. No. That's the face right there. That's the face that you make when you say that. When you say what you said and you already forgave yourself. That's the face you make. That's what you'll tell yourself every time. You're like, you know what? You can't judge me right now. I'm the guy can judge me. I'm good. That's the face you'll make each and every time. You're like, you know what I was trying to say, right? We still cool, right? That's what you're gonna do. It is gonna be funny to a lot of people, and then, but to the majority of people, they're gonna be, well, just like they said on Coming to Them, damn shame, but it is that. Damn shame that they did to Kelly. But a lot of people probably thought, you know what? I'm gonna be fair. I was one of them. I was like, she was just sharing. And basically, what did she say? What she said, was it racist? Now I gotta be careful, right? Before I get me too. Look, what she did was, on a technical level, what she did on the wrong stage at the wrong time to the wrong people was she shared a memory. She said, in this middle of this topic and this conversation, she said, when I was growing up or where I came up, we didn't think it was a bad thing. She didn't say, I did this yesterday. I put on blackface every time I go home. What's the big deal? She didn't say that. She said, when we grew up, where we grew up, we didn't think it was a big deal, which was probably a true statement. They probably didn't think that. And some people out there, what she's talking about, probably still don't think it's a big deal. But she didn't say that. She said, when we were growing up in Halloween, we used to, she didn't give examples. Like the Dolomite, Eddie Murphy. And we, it was a big deal. But it was because we like Dolomite. We like Eddie Murphy. We like buckwheat, whatever, And in her heart, see, and that's why in those trials, in those cases, you can't prove intent. You can't prove she was thinking racist thoughts. You can't prove it. What she said might have sounded racist to you. It might have straight up been a racist thing to say, but can you prove in her mind she was like, I'm going to be racist in the next 3, 2, 1, blackface is cool, and, racist. No, you can't prove that. She just shared a memory. That was basically what she did. You know how many times people do that? Back in the day, my grandmother used to do this, or my grandfather used to do that, or my dad, or whoever, we used to do this, and blah, blah, blah. We never had a big deal about it. People say that stuff all the time. But know your audience. John McCain passed away. And one of the things that I mean, I didn't vote for John McCain, but when he was running for president, one thing I did not know about him is when I was learning about him, who he was, I learned this dude was real. John McCain went to the site of where Martin Luther King was assassinated, and in front of a crowd of black people on Martin Luther King Day, reminded this group of people who probably would not have even have remembered this about him or knew this, because I didn't know it about him at the time until he said it. But he himself, the man himself, said, I was one of the senators who voted against making Martin Luther King's birthday a national holiday, in front of the crowd of black people in that community, in front of the very same spot where he was assassinated. It takes guts. You are a man of your word and your integrity. He didn't have to do that. He could have just went out there and said, this was the place where it happened, guys. Let us pray. That could have been in the whole thing, and that would have been great. But no, he went one step further. Guess what I did in 1980 something. You didn't even know this about it. Guess what? This might make me lose, or you might respect me and give me your vote. Yeah, you got my respect that day. You didn't get my vote, but he got my respect. And ever since then, he had my respect. This dude did not have to say it, and he did. He knew what he was doing, but that was a different reason why he did that. Megan, you knew where you was. Why'd you do it? I don't know. I thought it was going to be cool. I was making so much money. People like me. People like you. Yeah, but do these people like you? Because they've been waiting for the moment to get rid of you from day one. Your ratings have been in the tank. And you give them the Twitter blew up. We got her, and she's getting canceled in 3, 2, 1, done. She's out of here, man. You did it to yourself. You knew where you was. You know, she just closed eyes for a second and just sensed Bill O'Reilly was next door to her. No, what happened? What happened? I don't know, man. I just said all I said was. Then she gonna repeat it. All I said was, why are you telling us again? We know what you said. We mad. Stop. Like, have you ever seen somebody guilty really try to explain why they did the thing that they did and that was not a bad thing? He's the only person in the room that don't get it. The guy was already dying of whatever the illness is. I just put the pillow over his face. What? They said he was going to pass tomorrow anyway. What? Why are you looking at me like that's how she looked? That was her face. And then when she know it, he's like, you know what? No, look, I already did it. It's done. He's gone. And I did it. I'll do it again. And then that was the face they made. That was the face. That was the moment. I forgave myself. Like, you can't judge me. And then when you go to trial, then all of a sudden you're in front of the judge. You're like, guilty, murder. And you're like, yeah, damn. I guess they can judge me because you ain't seen a sense. Looking out of here, man. So. Why does it happen? Why does it happen? I don't know. I'm kind of upset that I couldn't get the audio of it to work. I'll try one more time, but you know what? I am about to move on. But if it doesn't work now, because I really want to show you exactly how she came upon the moment where she totally forgave herself, and it was amazing. It was totally amazing how it happened. Where she totally knew that everything was going to be okay and that she was not, it wasn't that big of a deal. She'll be all right. She totally knew it. She totally knew things were going to be fine. So, I don't know. Like, here we go. Let me see if I can try one more time. I don't think it's going to.
Joining me now, co-host of PBS's In Principle, Amy Holmes, and host of the digital show, Roland Martin Unfiltered, Roland Martin. I love you guys, so thank you so much for that. Love you, too. Thank you both for being here. It's not an easy discussion, but Roland, I did listen yesterday, and what was very clear in what I read and what I heard is that the history here, when it comes to that term and this issue, is deeply disturbing.
I think the problem is, for African Americans, we know the history, and too many white Americans don't know or won't accept it. When the reality is, it is American history, yours and mine. You look at blackface. White entertainers wore blackface to mimic African Americans, to caricature African Americans. When you look at the minstrel shows, black entertainers were forced to wear blackface because whites did not even want to see the humanity of black people, so therefore they had blackface. Last night, I looked at Spike Lee's 2000 movie Bamboozled, which dealt with this. And they actually, Jada Pinkett Smith character actually talked about exactly how they created it. And what they did was they poured alcohol on 2 corks, burned it to a crisp, mashed it to a powder, added water, and mixed it to a thick paste, and then applied it to the faces of black people. Then they would take red lipstick and put it on the lips, but then on the outside of the lips to create this image. But this thing went beyond just that. You look at the Jim Crow Museum that's at Ferris State University, where this is American history, where black people have been assaulted in magazines, television, radio, all of these images that have continued for centuries and then, of course, decades, going up to the 1960s and to some degree in the 70s, and we still see it present day. And so this is American history. The problem is too many of us grew up learning his story and not actual history. And that's the problem that we have to accept. And when we are grown, when we are educated, we have to go beyond what we were taught, what we learned in our households, and say, I better be fully aware of real American history as opposed to being in denial about what actually took place in this country.
And the other piece of it is that seeing a white person darken her skin, even for a costume, today evokes that past.
Well, absolutely it does. It does, because you're speaking to, again, a history. Look, if you want to dress up like James Earl Jones and come into America, somebody sent me a photo, you can put the costume on. You don't have to darken your face. We have to deal with also the reality of colorism.
What I was saying was, she already, before Roland even began speaking, she had already forgiven us. So she already started the whole conversation before Roland and Amy Holmes even started talking with, I now realize, the problem with it and this and that and the other, and I learned and this. She already forgave herself. She was done. She was like, yeah, you know what? That'll be fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. So she, all of a sudden the crowd starts cheering her. They zoom into the black women in the crowd that's clapping hard for her, and whatnot. She's like, thank you. You clapped for me, so that means it's not racist. Thank you. I am forgiven now. That's it. Thank you. You too. And she gave that grin. She already forgave herself. So what was the point? There was no point to it. None of that. The whole black splaining, the whole I heard what you did. That was all stupid. I mean, she was more real. I mean, I more appreciate her being real the day before. Should she be fired for her feelings? That's the question. No, I don't think so. I don't think she'd be fired for. I think she should be fired because the ratings are so low. It sucked. The show sucked, and then she was dumb enough to get out there and soapbox on a topic that in front of a group of a studio audience that wasn't having it. Not the you gave us. Oh wait, whoa, hold on, Megan. This is NBC. Wow, that's Fox, Megan. You did right there. Stop that. That's not the character we want. That's it. Cancel this. Oh, Twitter blew up. Oh man, it was so funny. And it happened in real time. And she knew. She was like, I don't know, what's the big deal? Oh, I'm losing money. I feel that for me, that this is an issue that we can work together on and we can grow. And I feel that for me, is my money good? Is it good yet? I'm down to 60 million. Okay. I feel that for me, that we can do better and we can learn. Where are those tears? She pinches herself. And we will learn together. And we will grow. And we will do better. I thought she was going to stand up and, say the Pledge of Allegiance or something. I don't know what she was about to, or she was about to, I don't know what she was about to do. Nothing would have surprised me that day. She could have sung an old Negro spiritual. Made the church say it, man. Nobody? Nobody? Okay. This little light. No, I'm not going to do that either. No. I'm canceled. Well, it was great having you. Well, I'm glad that we had this time. Thank you for the money. And now it's $69 million. She's going to do what everybody else did. She's going to go start her own little network or her own little podcast or whatever, and it's going to blow up overnight. All of her car. But who are her fans now? Fox people feel betrayed. You went to the MSNBC people and started talking like a liberal. Liberal people were like, why were you even here in the first place? CNN ain't going to say, no, son. No. I don't think so. So she's going to go on her own. She's going to go to the internet with $69 million as a, cushion. She's going to sleep well on a pillow made of $69 million of, financial security. And she's going to call it a wrap. That's why you make that face. That's the face out. Like, let me tell you something. If I'd have won that $1 billion on the lotto, if I'd have been that dude, you think, what any comment? Because, hey, Chris, I didn't appreciate what you said about, Smurfs the other day. Smurfs are lovable, magical creatures. I mean, fuck a Smurf. I'm rich. You think I care about Smurfs? What's a Smurf gonna do to me? Nothing. I would say anything. And you wouldn't be. You can try to send a lawsuit to me. I'd be gone. You know what I mean? Countries I know of. I'm rich, man. You know what I mean? You know how many places I've been around. I know where to go. I know where to hide. I know where to hide the money. You ain't never gonna see it. I'd be gone if I was living like that. But I'm not that bad of a guy. I wouldn't do that. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't. If I'd have won a lottery, let's talk about that lottery for a second. If I would have won that money, oh man, I'm not a guy who I don't believe in revenge, but vengeance, oh, like Batman. Oh man, all of you would have heard it, all of you. And then I'd have canceled this Facebook account. Y'all would never see me again. What happened to Chris? Actually, no, y'all wouldn't have known. That's the tip. You know somebody won the lottery. Check every Facebook account. You should. This is what y'all should be doing. Check every Facebook account who just vanishes, like within the next 10 hours of the lotto numbers being, drawn out and called out. Go to all the major cities and look how many people in the county just shut down, just deactivated forever their Twitter account. Once you eliminate the bots and the Russians and all that stuff, once you eliminate them, then you can narrow it down. It was Chris. Yeah, my stuff will be shut down. That would be clue number 1. I shut down my Twitter account because none of y'all would be able to talk to me. And let me message my friend. All right. Before I move on to the next topic, because I'm running out of time, man. I enjoyed that though. But venting about Megyn Kelly, that's let me tell you something. That was ridiculous, man. Everything she was saying. I'm sorry. I want to start this show off with 2 words. I'm rich, is what she should have said. Because that's how she felt. That's really what she was saying. That's why she gave that little smug little smile. Thank you. When I go home to my McMansion, I won't think of any of you people ever again. That's what she should have said. But what did she say? I'm sorry. But the day before she said, I'm sorry too. But she was saying in a whole different context. I'm sorry, man. I don't see what the damn problem is. Just don't see it, man. What? But the very next day, I'm sorry. It's all about how you say it, I guess. I'm sorry. But you're an idiot. You're a clown. You're a dumbass. You don't know me. You don't know my life. You don't know my hustle. Only God can judge me now. Versus, I'm sorry. Can I still continue to make millions and millions of dollars and, live my life out loud? Let's move on to the next thing.